Hi, in this video we'll cover the Eye Dropper tool and swatches. Their names may not tell you much, but let's see what they're all about. First, a bit of introduction in case you didn't watch the brush lecture. In every Photoshop project, you'll most likely need to work with colours. The main way of doing that is through this area from your toolbox. The top square controls your foreground colour, or better put, your current active colour, and the one at the bottom acts like your secondary one. When you want to change them, simply click once and you'll get what's called the colour picker. From it, you can play around on the left side, or you can use this slider to change your colour completely. The most popular way of sharing certain colours on the web is through this hex code. You can copy it and use it somewhere else, but you can also get nice ones from the web and paste them here. A nice shade of pink I found is FF00AA, and here it is. I can tell it's changed because I can see its preview in this new box. Hit OK and let's do the same for the background colour. I can click it and I'll get the same colour picker. Let me close it because I can also use the hotkey X to swap their positions. In case you don't want to remember it, go over this tiny icon and once you click it, you'll get the same thing. Next to it, you have another small icon. This reverts to your default colours. Click it and that pink I previously selected has gone away. Let me choose some random colours so I can show you its hotkey. OK, these will do just fine. Now I'll press D on my keyboard. By default, black is on top, white is at the bottom. And that wraps up my introduction. Let's move over to another tab. When you want to change these colours on the spot, you'll most likely use the Eye Dropper tool. Its hotkey is I, and you can identify it through this icon from your toolbox. Click anywhere on the canvas and your foreground colour will change. This is how you'd use it in most projects. You click and set one colour, then you'd use X to flip them around and choose a secondary one. You'll notice there's a ring of sorts that pops up when you click. If you hold down your mouse, you can see it's divided in two parts. The top half shows what you're currently sampling, so if you let go, that's what you're going to end up with on this left side. The bottom part is there to show you what your current colour is, so you can compare them. As we already discussed, Photoshop works with raster images that are made out of pixels. Right now, we're using the Eye Dropper tool to pick up individual pixels. If I zoom into the maximum level, you can see this grid shows up. Click inside any square and you've got that pixel's colour. This is called point sample mode, and you can see it in the options bar. This is what I use in my everyday work, but sometimes you may want to get a colour from a larger area. Use this drop-down and select any of these options. For example, 31 by 31 average will get me just that. It will look at a larger area and find a colour code that's an average for that spot. All these values are in pixels, by the way. If you're working on a larger project with several layers, you may want to change this setting. The easiest option is Sample Current Layer. This means you'll get exactly what you click on. You'll also have the option of sampling from layers that are above or below this current one, as well as other combinations, but those are a little bit more tricky to get the hang of, so I recommend you stick to this mode. More interesting is the fact that you can use the Eye Dropper tool outside of Photoshop. This is particularly helpful if you have two monitors, but even if you don't, you can resize this window like so. Now I'll grab a browser and I'll visit google.com. Now with the Eye Dropper activated, I can click and drag outside the program. I have the colour picker opened so you can see the change more clearly, but it's not needed. As I go over each colour in the Google logo, you can see the colour picker changes. This is extremely useful because you can borrow great colours from your favourite websites without having to go through too much trouble. It can even sample from Photoshop's interface. It seems this Layers panel has a colour code of 2B, 2B, 2B. That's a great feature, and again the Eye Dropper tool relates to this colour picker window. In essence, it doesn't matter if you use the Eye Dropper tool directly or if you double-click on any of these boxes and use it from here. As you can see, when I'm outside this window, my mouse cursor immediately turns into the Eye Dropper symbol. You may ask, what if I want to work with more than two colours? Not a problem. For that, you can use swatches. Go to Window, Swatches. Now I can sample a colour, say a blue shade, and then move over to this panel. You can see my cursor changes to a paint bucket icon. If I click, I'll be asked to name this swatch, and I can call it whatever I want. With this workflow, you can select any number of colours and have them saved here in this panel. The alternative is to click on your background or foreground colours, play around in this window, and then hit Add to Swatches. That does the same thing. Then when you want to use them, just click on them and you'll notice your foreground colour will change. Let me drag this panel closer to this area so you can see it better. OK, every time I click, that new colour pops up here. Great stuff. But say this Swatches panel is too crowded or you don't like some of them. Just hold down Alt and your cursor will change into a scissor icon. This means you'll delete anything you click. Regarding saving or deleting them en masse, you can click on this small icon here and you'll have all the available options to do that. Reset, load, save, replace, you name it. And that's how you use both the Eye Dropper tool and the Swatches panel. These go great together, so try them out and see how you do. I suggest you use this knowledge and combine it with the brush tool. Have fun!